Happening Blues, welcome back to GrandOldTeam. I'm Adam Partington, and this is a show that will look ahead to Everton's encounter with West Ham down in London tomorrow. I have just finished watching Carlo Ancelotti's press conference. Still seems like a little bit weird that Carlo Ancelotti is the Everton manager. It's been like 4 weeks now, but it still doesn't feel real. And I stopped watching press conferences after, I think, Martinez. Because Martinez is, even at the end, when we were all getting a little bit tired of Martinez, I liked Martinez, and I still like Martinez, really. He makes me laugh, in a way. Towards the end of his tenure at Everton, he was an ideologue, and he was just spinning pure ideology on us. Footballing ideology on us, and like would come out with the wackiest things, and it had serious consequences because we were genuinely worried about where we were going under him. But his press conferences were golden. I remember the one down in I will get onto Everton West Ham in a second. I'm doing that thing where I just go off on a tangent. Bear with me, but I remember it's worth going back and looking for this at the footage of him at a Jason Derulo concert. I think on the Friday or the Thursday before we played Stoke. The video came out on the Friday. It was him dancing, proper dad dancing stuff, the kind of things that I do now. God knows why he was I think it was Jason Derulo, someone like that. And then in the press conference, the journalist asked him, and I expected him to kind of deny it, and he didn't. He just straight up, and he was give us this philosophical rant about, well, not a rant, but he gave a philosophical answer about, how it's important to enjoy yourself. Martinez at a Jason Derulo concert. I don't suspect we'll ever see Carlo Ancelotti at a Jason Derulo concert, but the point I'm making is I enjoy watching his press conferences now. I didn't watch Koeman's because he was Koeman. I didn't watch Sam Allardyce because they annoyed me. I watched maybe the first couple, and I was like, these are terrible. Silva, I like the guy, but he was hardly the most engaging manager we've had. So I haven't watched them for a while, really. But now I try and watch every one of Ancelotti's. And in this press conference, he did confirm that we're going to be missing Richarlison, which is a massive miss. I got asked today at work who's Everton's best player at the moment, and I said without hesitation, it's Richarlison. He is a terrific footballer. He is improving, I think, week in and week out. He scores goals. He works incredibly hard. And I think we're going to find it hard maybe in the future to keep hold of him, but let's not worry about too much about it now. We're going to miss him though tomorrow, and that is a big miss. He's got a little niggle in his knee, but he will be back for Tuesday. Yerry Mina will be involved tomorrow. Gylfi Sigurdsson won't. Now I know Gylfi has taken his fair share of stick over the last couple of months, well, over the last couple of seasons really, but I did think against Brighton his distribution was a lot better, both when the ball was moving and from dead ball positions. Andy C in the post-match videos we did outside Goodison mentioned that when he passes forward, which he did a little bit more of in the game against Brighton, he can do more damage, and he'd like to see him do that a little bit more. But he's a miss tomorrow, and he's a miss because we don't have a lot of options in that area of the field. So, I'd rather have him than not have him available for the moment. Gabmin is back training with the first team, which is good news. He's been out for a while. We saw a little bit of him at the start of the season. We saw him down at Palace. We saw him at the first home game against Watford. I was impressed with him that day, and then I think he got injured the week after that, maybe. Anyway, he's back involved with the side, and Gomes you will have seen the pictures this week, terrific pictures of Gomes in the gym squatting, which is incredible when you think about the injury that he had. Ancelotti says that he's doing really well, and hopefully he'll be back involved soon as well, which is a miracle given what Son did to him. We won't go over that again, but Son, you're a cheeky little bastard, and us Evertonians knew exactly what happened that day. Anyway, Niasse, just a side note, Niasse has turned down 2 championship clubs. Strange one for me, because I think if you're Niasse now, your contract expires in the summer, go into the championship, drop down a level, get your confidence back as a player, and put yourself in the shop window. But he obviously thinks that he can do a better job than. He can get a better job than the championship, than the club in the championship. Fair play to him. That's his decision. I don't think it's what I would do. And yeah, in the press conference, Ancelotti was asked about Everton Suarez. If I pronounce his surname right, I'll say I get the first bit because that's Everton. Be terrible if I couldn't pronounce that bit right. But anyway, the lad from Brazil, we're being linked with. Ancelotti slapped this down, said I don't want to talk about players that don't play for Everton, which is very admirable. It's good that he takes that stance, because you want other managers to do that with our players. And the journalist made some quip about, it'd be great for the marketing team if Everton. Okay, we got it, mate. It's not a bit. Ancelotti didn't laugh and again moved and brushed it aside. But we'll have to see what happens there in the transfer window this month. So we'll get to see David Moyes tomorrow again, which I don't know about you, but personally for me, growing up in the late 90s, my first memorable season for Everton, the first season I had a season ticket and started going to the match, it was the 96-97 season. So, the back end of the 90s, Everton were in a depression, and the start of the early noughties. And one thing I will say for Moyes is that he had many faults, but what he did do is he installed a little bit of self-respect in Everton again. He created a team that he had no right to create in terms of the talent with regards to the resources he had, a team that we could relate to, that worked exceptionally hard for us, was talented. He gave us some terrific days and occasions, I think, as Evertonians. I'm thinking of, the Fiorentina game, or I remember Man United at home when Ferguson scored that season when we finished fourth. It gave us some good memories, and we played some good football under Moyes, and I think the game's moved on since then. I didn't want him back as Everton manager. We ran a poll on GrandOldTeam. I think 80% of you said that you didn't want to see him back as Everton manager. I got it. I did get it. By the way, Tifo done a great video on this on YouTube. Search for it. Go to their channel, Tifo. It's on how close Moyes actually came to becoming Everton manager again before Ancelotti. I think the article originally appeared in The Athletic, and it's a video version of that. Really, really good watch. Shows how close he came to actually being the Everton manager. But he's got a point to prove tomorrow. Where his old club, I think he wanted the job. I don't know what goes on in Moyes' head, but I think it's safe to assume that he really wanted the job. He wanted the opportunity again. I remember when he was at Everton and he used to talk about getting that investment, and he used to say, I'd hate to think that someone else will come in after me and get the resources that I haven't had. He wanted this job again. He didn't get it. I think he'll have a point to prove tomorrow. But I do feel now, with Ancelotti in the dugout and seeing how we're starting to see games out now when we get ahead, I don't think it'll be pretty tomorrow, but I do think we'll squeeze through again. Richarlison's a big miss, but for me, my prediction is that Everton will win 1-0 tomorrow. I said I don't think it'll be pretty, but I think we'll get ahead. Ancelotti will lock things up again, and I hope that we can come away from there with the points, because it would be a terrific win. West Ham are a weird side, I get it. Some relatively good individual players, but I think a side that you don't really know what you're going to get with them. So it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting tomorrow. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Last time we won 2-0 down there at the London Stadium. Terrible stadium to watch a football match. If I remember rightly, Bernard scored. We started really well and comfortably won the game 2-0. Things have changed since then. Pellegrini's no longer around for them, and Marco Silva is no longer Everton manager, as you well know. So things have changed, but I hope that Everton win tomorrow, and I'm quietly confident about this one. So fingers crossed, we'll get away from there with 3 points, and it'll be a big win if we do. But as I said, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter at @PartAdam, and remember to like, share and subscribe, and get over to www.grandoldteam.com. Thanks for